SuperTalk Mississippi media production. It's time to talk about dogs.
Bulldogs have won it.
Talkin Dawgs, that is, with Robbie Faulk, right here on SuperTalk 100.9.
Talkin Dawgs is on your radio here on 100.9 SuperTalk in the Golden Triangle area. This is Robbie Faulk, and this is Talkin Dawgs. Thank you for tuning in on this Wednesday morning, wherever you're listening. You might be listening in podcast form. I thank you for that. If you aren't following that, go do that today. Go follow Talkin Dawgs wherever you get your podcasts. You may be listening online, supertalk.fm, anywhere that you might be in front of your computer, or you might be listening on your radio dial the old school way, the way that God intended many, many years ago. Wherever it is, folks, thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Talkin Dawgs, where we talk all things Mississippi State sports. Every now and then we'll mix in a little bit of high school sports around the area. And right now, folks, we are closing in on crossover season. There's a couple of times throughout the year where sports are crossing over for us as sports writers, radio hosts, podcasters, whatever. Right at the end of football season, of course, and obviously in bowl season and all that, but you got a little bit of that at the end of the season in football where basketball is beginning. But it really starts to ramp up when baseball and basketball meet in February and March, when things get really hot in basketball and when baseball is starting to heat up as well. That's one of my favorite times of the year, and that time is arriving. We are less than a week away, folks. Well, a little over a week away, actually. Next Friday, baseball season begins. On next Wednesday's show, we will be talking baseball in earnest. Mississippi State baseball is almost here. On Friday of next week, the 13th, I believe. Friday the 13th. How about that? On Friday the 13th of February, Mississippi State will throw out the first pitch of the Brian O'Connor era. And it is one of the most anticipated first games of all time at Mississippi State. When you think about the history of Mississippi State baseball, and Ron Polk arrived here, and Paul Gregory had done a really good job, but I'm not sure baseball was as important nearly at that point as it is now. You know, Ron Polk ushered in baseball being as popular as it is at Mississippi State. No offense to anything that had been done before then. Mississippi State had been in the College World Series. They had been to, they had won SEC championships, but it was not as popular until Ron Polk arrived and fully ingrained it in the culture in the early 1980s. So it wasn't as anticipated as that as it was back then. I mean, you look at when John Cohen came along, State fans were really excited, but things had kind of gone down. The end of Ron Polk and John Cohen had brought some excitement, but things were not to this level. You know, Chris Lemonis, I think there was some excitement there. Mississippi State was opening up a new stadium at Dudy Noble Field. It was the ushering in of a new era. I think there was a ton of excitement. I remember it, 2019, and Mississippi State opened up Dudy Noble Field in its full form as it is now. You had the statue unveiling, I believe, of Thunder and Lightning. Not myself and Brian Haydad, but of Will Clark and Rafael Palmeiro. But even that, I don't think is going to be as big as next Friday. Brian O'Connor has a team full of talented, experienced players from around the country, a veteran staff that has won national titles, a national title, I guess, at Virginia. Justin Parker has done an excellent job, and he has won at a very high level here at Mississippi State. It is going to be super exciting next Friday. I'm hoping that the temperatures rise a little bit. It looks like we might be getting a touch of spring. I do caution you on that. But there's a lot of excitement around this team, and we got a little bit of that kicked off this week. We talked to Brian O'Connor. We talked to some Mississippi State players, and they previewed a little bit of the season. It's giving fans a little more of a taste as they are just over a week away for Mississippi State baseball, and we're about to talk a lot of it here on this show today. So stay tuned here. We got some messages from Brian O'Connor, from several of the Mississippi State players coming your way after the break. Plenty of Mississippi State baseball coming up here on Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk on SuperTalk 100.9.
At Bank Oklahoma, consistency isn't just something we strive for. It's our way of doing business. Whether you're in Oklahoma or Houston, Manatee or Bruce, Tupelo or Aberdeen, you'll always find friendly faces, helpful service, and hometown values. One bank, multiple communities. Consistently here for you. Find the branch nearest you at bankoklahoma.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Looking for quality and convenience? Matheson Hardware and Building Supply has you covered. We deliver lumber, roofing, doors, windows, and more straight to your job site. And check out our full line of Milwaukee battery-powered tools, plus plumbing, electrical, and Valspar paints for every project. And now we're your local source for guns, ammo, and so much more. For over 100 years, Matheson Hardware has been built on a legacy of customer service you can trust. Go find them at 281 Scott Avenue in Matheson, Mississippi, or call them today at 662-263-4583.
Power up your convenience with the 4County mobile app. Managing your electric account has never been easier. With our free mobile app, you can view your bill, balance, and account details, report outages, track restoration progress, and make secure payments online. Stay informed by scheduling alerts and reminders for important account updates. Whether you're at home or on the go, the 4County app puts control in your hands. Download the app today and experience the power of convenience.
Hey, this is William Wells. When you drop your vehicle off with us, you can trust us with our ASC certified technician. We'll take care of everything you need. Brakes, struts, shocks, alignments, check engine light, tune-up, tire sensor, tires, everything. Stop by any of our 3 locations in Starkville, West Point, and Columbus, and let our team give you the championship service you deserve.
Your home is more than just where you live. It's one of your biggest financial tools. With a home equity line of credit from the Citizens Bank, you can use your home's equity to tackle renovations, consolidate debt, or cover life's bigger expenses. All with one flexible line of credit you can use as you need it. Talk with our local lenders and see how a HELOC can work for you. Call 1-800-397-0344 or visit the Citizens Bank today. The Citizens Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. NMLS number 525308. Some restrictions apply.
You're listening to Talkin Dawgs on SuperTalk 100.9.
Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk back here on SuperTalk 100.9, the Golden Triangle. I trust that your Wednesday is going well wherever you are out there in radio land, digital media land. Thank you for tuning in for yet another episode of Talkin Dawgs. This is Robbie Faulk. On3 Sports at Maroon and White Daily. Come check us out over there at Maroon and White Daily, covering everything Mississippi State each and every day for you. We've seen a massive influx of members over the last month. Fans just totally excited about Mississippi State sports, or they're wanting an avenue to release their frustrations. I don't know. One of the two. Well, we're coming off of a really tough time for the state of Mississippi with the winter storms that came through. A lot of people still without power out there across North Mississippi. You've got to be prepared for these situations. A tree falls on your house, God forbid. You have a busted pipe in your house. You have to have water damage fixed. You guys need Alpha Insurance, and you need to go check out Jess Brantley over in West Point. He will help you get back on track, and that's exactly what you need in those situations. You need somebody that's going to be able to tell you everything's going to be okay, but not only be able to tell you, but show you, and Jess will get you right back on track. I was going down I talked about this last week. I was riding down the road. I saw a house on fire last week from the storm, and I talked to that guy, and he said, I just don't know what I'm going to do. He was with another insurance agency, and I'm not using his I'm not using this to try to piggyback over to Alpha. I'm using it as a cautionary tale. He did not know what was going to happen with his insurance. He had reached out to his insurance agency, and they had not really gotten back to him. Some people had told him they didn't know if he was even going to be able to get a lot of what he wanted out of the damage. I can tell you with 100% certainty, Alpha Insurance will take care of you during this time. I talked to some insurance agents during that situation, and they told me straight up they've dealt with that many times. There's not a better group of people than Alpha Insurance to help you through that time. And Jess Brantley is one of those people over in West Point. 662-494-4142. You can find him, or you can go see him face-to-face, 36 South 4th Street in West Point. He'll take care of you. Thank you, Jess. All right, guys, let's dig into baseball. Brian O'Connor getting ready for game number 1 coming up next week against Hofstra. We talked to Coach O'Connor on Monday, got his thoughts on the season ahead. Here's a few of those, just a snippet of what Brian O'Connor thinks of what's coming for Mississippi State next week.
The first day of spring has arrived. The weather's changed in Starkville, right? Just thank you all for coming. Just really excited about getting out there today with the team. Yesterday we had an off day, and get back out there today in the sun shining in Starkville, and excited to get back to work. Certainly we have more work to continue in this preseason. We're scheduled to scrimmage tomorrow, and then scrimmage Friday, Saturday, Sunday this weekend, and then that'll take us into to opening day. So just generally I'd tell you that the team, the men are working incredibly hard. They're focused. We've continued, I felt, in this preseason to get incrementally better each week as we build these pitchers up. That's a big part of this is logging at bats for the players, and the pitchers continue to progress on a throwing progression, pitch count progression that Coach Parker and I have laid out for the pitchers for them to be ready to go for opening weekend. I know there's a lot of excitement coming into the start of the season like there is every season, but I can tell you for me personally, this opening day is one that I'm very much looking forward to, and just excited about what this team has in front of us. So, questions?
Steve? You got a couple weeks left, obviously, to kind of prepare. What position battles are maybe you still kind of watching and still kind of determining as we get ready for opening day?
Well, I'll tell you, Steve, my approach has been they're all up for battle, right? But the reality is, you got an all-SEC third baseman back in Ace Reese. You got some guys that are back here that have certainly proven their capability. And so even though we continue to make it open competition, we're still trying to figure out different combinations of who might play where. I love that we've got a lot of versatility, right, from a position player standpoint. Somebody like Reed Stallman that had a nice year last year in this uniform. I think he had 10 or 11 home runs. I've been really impressed with his fall and his preseason and his versatility, his ability to play first base and corner spots in the outfield. He has, I'll tell you that probably James Nunnally and Reed Stallman in this preseason have been the most consistent from an offensive standpoint. That's not a knock on anybody else because they're all starting to stack it up and put it together. But shortstop, second base, they're still competing there for opportunities. Behind the plate they are. I've been really impressed with the consistency of Kevin Maluski back there. I thought at the end of the fall, especially in the 2 fall games, he played really well behind the plate and ran our pitching staff very, very well. There's a lot of them that's still open competition, but, it's starting to take shape for us. I know that was very vague, Steve, but that's where it's at right now. Robbie?
You had 2 of your, I guess you could say some of your biggest stars, Aiden Till and Ace, out for at least a large part of the fall.
Yeah.
Have those guys gotten back up to speed? Do you like where they are health-wise right now?
I love where Aiden Till and Ace Reese are right now. It was unfortunate that Ace Reese was out the entire fall just because of the defensive part of it. You wanted to be able to work with him and him to get reps for his progression and his development to help our team win and be successful. But that is what it is. I will tell you, in the 3 or 4 weeks that we've been back, I feel like his progression at third base has been very, very good. And we've gotten some really quality time in his development. And certainly Aiden Teal missing the back half of the fall, wasn't great. Aiden Teal's story, if you don't know it, is, and I'm not going to tell the whole thing, he was just a pitcher as a freshman, right? And got very little at bats. And last year was the first year he was a full-time position player. So it was unfortunate that he missed those opportunities. That said, his preseason's been very, very good. He's an elite defensive center fielder, can really go get it and really throw. And I believe there's a lot of extra base hit and some thunder in that bat too. So they've picked up in a great spot, and both of those guys are certainly going to be huge, key, everyday contributors for us and got great potential.
All right, head coach Brian O'Connor, that man will get you fired up and ready to run through a brick wall. I'm not even joking. If you've ever sat down with him and had a conversation and had him just like stare into your soul as he's talking to you, it's an experience. I mean, he will convince you that you are ready to step into the batter's box and take a swing. Now, it would be an absolute disaster if that happened for me. I'm not even going to lie about that. If I stepped into the box and I had Jack Bauer throwing 103 across the middle of the plate, I might collapse. But Brian O'Connor, I think, could talk me into it. That's the kind of coach that this guy is. I'm so excited to see what he can do with Mississippi State's resources. Like, there is a possibility for this program to do things that it hasn't done, because this guy demands excellence every single day. You can see it pouring through his players. We're going to talk to some players, too, after the break. I got more baseball coming. But you can hear it from the players. They exude that same confidence that Brian O'Connor has. They exude that same professionalism. It's almost like this program is run like a professional business. Like it's almost minor league, the way that they're running this thing. It doesn't even seem like a college baseball team. Like, they come out and they handle things. He handles things almost like a drill sergeant, but in like the good, positive things that you get from a drill sergeant. That's what I see from Brian O'Connor. And this is a guy that you look at his career at Virginia. He took over a program at Virginia that had done absolutely nothing in its entire history. This was a pitching coach coming from Notre Dame. They had done nothing in their history. He made that program a national champion. He made that program a perennial powerhouse in baseball. They went to the College World Series 7 times. He was in the NCAA tournament most years. He did have some down years, just like anybody. Nobody gets away without going through some down years, unless you're Mike Martin at Florida State. That guy was in the postseason every single year, but it comes and goes. He had consistency like just about nobody else in college baseball. There's an elite group of coaches that have just consistently done it. He's one of those people. And now you've aligned that with the resources at Mississippi State. Brian O'Connor, I believe, is going to do some very big things. We're going to talk more baseball when we come back from the break. We're hearing from Mississippi State players, both positional players and pitchers, coming up. You want to stay tuned for this. This is Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk here on SuperTalk 100.9.
Hey there, I'm Lee Burrell with Citizens Bank in Starkville. If you're thinking about growing your business, whether it's adding equipment, expanding your space, or starting something new, I'd love to help make it happen. At the Citizens Bank, we're in your corner, working with you one-on-one to find lending options that fit you. So stop by and see me at 201 Highway 12 West in Starkville, or give me a call at 662-323-1420, or visit www.thecitizensbankphila.com. I'm Lee Burrell, your hometown commercial lender, here to help your business take the next big step. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Whether you're on the job or working your land, you need equipment that adapts to the tasks at hand. The heavy-duty Kubota RTVX, the #1 selling diesel UTV in North America, is your capable workhorse. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down 2.99% APR for up to 36 months. Now through March 31st, see us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Visit H&R AgriPower, your local Kubota dealer at 841 South Frontage Road in Columbus. H&R AgriPower has the power to get you more.
Fork County Electric Power Association has spent more than 85 years working to improve the quality of life of all we touch. And that's why we created the Fork County Foundation. Thanks to the generosity of Fork County member owners, the foundation has awarded more than $2.5 million to organizations that support the communities we serve. If you have a 501c3 organization that helps improve the lives of Fork County members, visit forkcounty.org and see if the Fork County Foundation can help you.
Looking for quality and convenience? Matheson Hardware and Building Supply has you covered. We deliver lumber, roofing, doors, windows, and more straight to your job site. And check out our full line of Milwaukee battery-powered tools, plus plumbing, electrical, and Valspar paints for every project. And now we're your local source for guns, ammo, and so much more. For over 100 years, Matheson Hardware has been built on a legacy of customer service you can trust. Go find them at 281 Scott Avenue in Matheson, Mississippi, or call them today at 662-263-4583.
At Bank Okolona, consistency isn't just something we strive for. It's our way of doing business. Whether you're in Okolona or Houston, Manatee or Bruce, Tupelo or Aberdeen, you'll always find friendly faces, helpful service, and hometown values. One bank, multiple communities. Consistently here for you. Find the branch nearest you at bankokolona.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Talkin Dawgs on SuperTalk 100.9.
Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk is back here on SuperTalk 100.9, the Golden Triangle. Thank you for tuning in for yet another episode. And I want to also thank our good sponsors over at Matheson Hardware and Building Supply. Man, were they clutch during the winter storm. They had all the supplies that you needed for that. Those propane heaters, they had those available. They've got Generac generators out there. I think they had, as of last week, they had a couple left. Those might be gone. They have been selling this equipment like hotcakes, and you need it. I mean, but they've had everything available. They've had these space heaters. They had the generators. They also have, fortunately or unfortunately, if you have those water leaks, you have those busted pipes, you have damage inside your house, they have the things that are going to help you restore what's gone wrong inside your house from these winter storms. They have water heaters, just came in as well, Richmond water heaters. Obviously, they also still have those Milwaukee tools. They still have the Valspar paints. And most importantly, they have the quality service that you're looking for in a hometown hardware store. So go check them out at Matheson Hardware and Building Supply. You can call them at 662-263-4583 or visit them at 281 Scott Avenue in Matheson. That's Matheson Hardware and Building Supply. Go see my guys over there, Ted, Brad, Chip, everybody over there at Matheson Hardware and Building Supply in Matheson today. All right, so we talked a little about Mississippi State baseball, Brian O'Connor. I have the full transcript from our conversation with Coach O'Connor. I had two different transcripts because he talked for about 20 minutes. The man can talk. I had those up at Maroon and White Daily. It's free for everybody, so if you're not a subscriber, go check it out. But I'd love to have you subscribe over there. We also have the video in our Maroon and White YouTube page, Maroon and White Daily. Just go type that in on YouTube. You can watch those videos. I broke those up, I believe, in 10-minute segments as well. So you can watch that video in full. You can also watch this video that I have with all the Mississippi State players. We talked to Bryce Chance, Aiden Till, Ace Reese, and Noah Sullivan, the positional players. I have a video of those players. And also the pitchers that we talked to were Tomas Valinkas, Charlie Foster, Ryan McPherson, and Ben Davis. So you can go check that out. But right now, I have that conversation, a little snippet from both of those interviews right here. Let's hear from those guys, those 8 players from Mississippi State, and what they're expecting from the season ahead here.
Probably a tough situation for you in the fall, dealing with the injury. How excited are you to get back out there with your teammates and actually compete again?
No, man, I'm pumped. It was hard watching them for a while, but it was nice seeing the game from that lens. But watching them work all fall and getting out there to deal with them now it's fun and exciting. So.
How do you feel?
I feel great back to 100%. So,
Doug, I'm going to ask Ace and Noah. Both of you were on an All-American team at the end of last season. and then you probably are getting mentioned for that too this year. But how do you take that individual recognition? How do you channel that into something that lifts the entire team?
Luckily, these awards don't really mean a whole lot for us as a team. I mean, it's cool to see an award, but we have to win a lot of games and keep moving forward. Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, it's nice to see it, but at the end of the day, we all have a goal to get to Omaha as a team, so that's kind of what our focus is on.
Steve?
Aiden, you're the guy that wasn't on this panel last year. So what's it been like now to wear a different school color and to be a part of this team? And how do you feel like maybe you've integrated into this group?
Yeah, I mean, it's really special to be with these guys in a new environment. I mean, I'm learning the Mississippi way from these guys, and it's just been really special. Go out there and play in front of play in this ballpark every day with a great group of guys. It's really, really special.
Sam?
Ace, what's this just been like working with this new coaching staff and also some of these new Virginia players that have come over with you?
Yeah, it's been awesome. You really learn, it was cool having a bunch of new guys come in and keeping a bunch of the old guys. That kind of taught us the way and how the coaches work, and then we taught them the way of, the Mississippi State way of how we do things. So having that gel was nice, and we just get after it every day. So,
Robbie.
Bryce, when you look at your career here, you've been on a lot of different teams, new coaching staff, all that stuff. Now, how different has this been this off-season, preparing with this team, with this coaching staff and all that, and the competition that you have in the outfield?
Well, it's been different, but it's something that everybody had to get used to with the returning guys. Practices are run a little bit differently, obviously, but it's been great having the competition that we have, especially in the outfield. A lot of great players on the team, and it's been something that we've all taken pride in, and it's something that's really important. Good to know that the guy behind you or the guy next to you is going to push you. So,
I'll start. Thomas, it's been a different pitching coach in many respects. There's a lot of new atmosphere, new experience. Where do you feel like you are right now over last year, and how much of that would you attribute to Coach Parker?
I'd contribute a lot to Coach Parker. I mean, since I've stepped onto campus, he's taught me things, showed me things that I never had any idea about, and what he's done with me and all the development process of everything has been great with him.
Robbie.
Ben, what about your off season and deciding to come back, obviously, and go at it another season? And what's it been like the last few months preparing for this year to stepping into the role that you got this year?
It's been great. Coming in last year, wasn't really expecting a whole lot, but this year, definitely stepping into a different role for sure, and just expecting a little bit different out of myself.
Sam.
Thomas, what's it just been like reuniting with your brother and getting to play with him here at Mississippi State?
I mean, it's been great. Before, when we were at different schools, we would always talk every day on the phone, talk about how our day was, what we'd done and everything. But now it's if one has a bad day, then we get to talk to each other about it, pick each other up, and it's been awesome. I mean, that's what I've kind of dreamed of. I didn't know it was possible until this year because he had another year of eligibility, but being with him is awesome, and there's no really downside of it.
Robbie.
Charlie, you kind of stepped in last year and you had some good moments, dealt with an injury. This year, expected to do a lot of bigger things. What's it been like kind of building up to that, like I asked Ben?
Yeah, coming in last year, I wasn't really sure what to expect coming into the college scene. And then this year, I put on some weight, got better physically, and just hoping to step into a bigger role for this team and just improve in any way I can.
What was the biggest thing you felt like you needed to improve from last year to this year?
Just being able to command the fastball. Just being able to, once you command that, all speed becomes easier, and pitching just becomes a lot easier that way.
All right, big thanks to those players for coming out and talking to the media. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, you can go watch that interview in full over on the Maroon and White Daily YouTube page. But these players are so impressive. This is just 8 of the players on the team that we talked to. And just how they carry themselves, the maturity that they have, which, a lot of these guys, several of them are just in their second year of college baseball. When you look at Tomas Valinkis, Ryan McPherson, Charlie Foster, those are 3 guys that could potentially be your weekend rotation. Those 3 are entering year 2 of college baseball. And they're sitting up there in front of the media and they're representing the pitching staff. That is impressive to say the least. And then you look at the positional players we talked to, that's a totally different situation. All of those guys are veterans. They're all in year 3 or year 4. Noah Sullivan, Bryce Chance, 4 or 5 years now for those two, going to be vital in Mississippi State's efforts this year because of their leadership. So what I've been doing the last couple of weeks is I've been breaking down the positional units for Mississippi State, first base through right field, every single position. I also finished out with relief pitching and starting pitching. You can go find all of that at Maroon and White Daily. It's behind a paywall, so you're going to have to join us, but I would love to have you. And if you want to just cruise through there and try to figure us out, it's $1 for a week. So come check it out. You can read all those positional breakdowns. What's so impressive about this team is the fact that I looked at every single position. I can make a case for at least 3 players at every position. That's how deep this team is. Every position has at least 3 guys that I could see being the starters or on any given day starting. And basically what Brian O'Connor said, if you go and watch that video of his press conference, he basically said the guys that play, the guys that get in the lineup, that are routinely in the lineup, they're going to play the hardest, they're going to be the best teammates, they're going to have the most grit. The toughest 9 are going to play. That's the way to do it. You collect talent. You collect as much talent as you possibly can. Pitcher's mound, in the field, at the plate. You collect all the players that you possibly can and may the best man win. That's essentially what you're seeing from Brian O'Connor of Mississippi State. I cannot wait. It's going to be really exciting. We have more baseball talk coming your way next week as we get ready for the first series of the year against Hofstra. For now, we're going to put that to bed. When we get back, we got some Mississippi State basketball to talk about. The roller coaster continues for Chris Jans and Sam Purcell. We'll talk about that when we come back from the break. This is Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk here on SuperTalk 100.9.
At Bank Oklahoma, consistency isn't just something we strive for. It's our way of doing business. Whether you're in Oklahoma or Houston, Manatee or Bruce, Tupelo or Aberdeen, you'll always find friendly faces, helpful service, and hometown values. One bank, multiple communities. Consistently here for you. Find the branch nearest you at bankoklahoma.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Landowners, are you ready to turn your timber into real value? At Good Hope Land and Timber, we specialize in helping landowners like you make smart, sustainable decisions. Whether you're planting a final harvest, thinning a stand, development thinning, or managing your forest long-term, our experienced team is here to guide you every step of the way. We're trained in the Sustainable Forestry Initiative and follow best management practices to protect your land and maximize your return. Call me, Jake Moody, at 601-416-6266. Good Hope Land and Timber, locally trusted, landowner approved.
Hey, this is William Wells. When you drop your vehicle off with us, you can trust us with our ASC certified technician. We'll take care of everything you need. Brakes, struts, shocks, alignments, check engine light, tune-up, tire sensor, tires, everything. Stop by any of our 3 locations in Starkville, West Point, and Columbus, and let our team give you the championship service you deserve.
On the farm, every day is a challenge. Kubota M-Series utility tractors are built to take them on. Tough and easy to use, Kubota equipment will help you get jobs done with ease. Stop by today. Right now, get select Kubota equipment for 5.25% APR for up to 84 months plus instant cash discount. Now through March 31st, see us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Visit H&R AgriPower, your local Kubota dealer at 841 South Frontage Road in Columbus. H&R AgriPower has the power to get you more.
Your home is more than just where you live. It's one of your biggest financial tools. With a home equity line of credit from the Citizens Bank, you can use your home's equity to tackle renovations, consolidate debt, or cover life's bigger expenses. All with one flexible line of credit you can use as you need it. Talk with our local lenders and see how a HELOC can work for you. Call 1-800-397-0344 or visit the Citizens Bank today. The Citizens Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. NMLS number 525308. Some restrictions apply.
Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk. on SuperTalk 100.9.
Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk is back here on SuperTalk 100.9. We're in the Golden Triangle, and we are proud to bring you Mississippi State sports talk every single week here on SuperTalk. So we had a lot of baseball to get into, folks. I hope you enjoyed that. Let's get into basketball now. Mississippi State basketball has been on a up and down trend so far this year. A few more ups for the women's team in Sam Purcell than the men, but the women did have a pretty big roller coaster this past week. The men, I don't really know what to say about this team at this point. You know, Chris Jans and company, they are coming into Saturday's game against Arkansas at 500 overall. This is the worst record that they've had at this point in the season of Chris Jan's career at Mississippi State. And, you know, at this point, he's going to be fighting to get over 500 this year. I don't think postseason is going to be possible for this team unless something massive changes with them. They're sitting here at 3-6. You can make a case for the Ole Miss games. They lost that game by 1. They should be 4-5 at this point. But everybody else, it's just been seemingly no chance of winning, at least in most of these games. They lost by double digits to Kentucky, Alabama, Texas A&M, Vanderbilt. They were decimated in a couple of those games. And then you look at last Wednesday, you know, right after we had talked about the program, you know, just kind of looking forward to next year, they go to LSU and they dominated that ball game the entire way. Led by almost 30 points, I think, in the first half. And they win it by 24 or by 14, 80-66. Then you go to Missouri, and it was another one of those like up and down games. I mean, they got down in that ball game, I think, by 16, 17 points. Fought back in it, had a chance to cut it to 1 point or so late in the game, and they just couldn't get over the hump. Josh Hubbard was 7 of 20. He's in a major league slump, although he had 22 points. You know, they're just not getting the efficiency there. Jaden Epps, 23 points. So those two were back on track of the scoring the points, but there's just not a whole lot from anybody else. I mean, you kind of had a last-ditch effort from Quincy Ballard against LSU. That was kind of an anomaly. 2 points in 16 minutes. You're just getting so little production from this guy. I mean, I don't know what they spent on Quincy Ballard, but it hasn't been worth it at all. Starting center plays 16 minutes and scores 2 points and gets 3 rebounds. That's pathetic. I'm sorry. But at this stage of the game, when these players are getting paid what they're getting paid, the expectations go up. I mean, they've turned into professionals at this point. Getting 2 points in 16 minutes and 3 rebounds from a 6'8", 6'10" player is just terrible. 7-footer, getting that. I mean, it's just this has been one of the biggest duds of a transfer portal class that Chris Jans has had. Chor had 6 points. And these players are just not, at the very least, they're not consistent. Sean Jones actually had a good game. He had 8 points in 16 minutes on 2-2 shooting. He's become more efficient. He isn't turning the ball over as much. But there's just not enough here from these players, and it's just not consistent. You had 2 points from Jamarian Davis-Fleming. You had 3 points from Sergei Masera. They need to start playing King Grace more. He got 19 minutes, so it looks like it's going up a little bit. I would just be force-feeding King Grace and Jamarian Davis-Fleming. I know he only had 2 points, but he had 8 rebounds in the game and 3 blocks. So Davis-Fleming is already better as a freshman than Quincy Ballard is as a senior. He played 29 minutes. You're starting to see Davis-Fleming taking most of those minutes away from Quincy Ballard. And that's what has to happen. I mean, you have a 7-footer that's virtually doing nothing for you. He had a good game against LSU. That has been, like I said, the anomaly. That's what's killing Mississippi State. I mean, they're getting nothing offensively from their low post. And you can't survive in this league if your low post is delivering 4 points. You know, Jamarian Davis-Swimming and Quincy Ballard combined 4 points. That's not going to cut it. So, you know, Missouri's a good team. You lost by 5 on the road. I don't think that was a terrible effort from Mississippi State, but they just don't have the production to go on the road and beat good teams or to beat good teams at home. And so is this going to be, is the roller coaster going to continue? A really good Arkansas team coming to town. John Calipari has owned Mississippi State like no other, whether it be at Kentucky or Arkansas. Is this going to be one of those roller coaster games and Mississippi State can pull this one out? I have my doubts. 11 a.m. game against John Calipari with a team that just has not performed very well. I really have my doubts. And so you look at it the rest of the way, Arkansas and Tennessee at home over the next week. You don't feel great about either one of those games. You go to the road to Ole Miss, who's not a great team, but they're playing hard. They play defense. Mississippi State's already lost to them. It's hard to predict that as a win. You host Auburn. Go on the road to South Carolina. That's a winnable game. They're a bad team. At Alabama, hosting Missouri. There's just not a lot of potential wins left. I mean, I could see 3 more wins. And at that point, I mean, there's a 14-win team. That's a bad season. But it's just kind of where you're at this year. I mean, I know people are really frustrated. They're not going to fire Chris Jans, nor should they. He's been to 3 straight NCAA tournaments. Next year will be the time where the pressure is on him. But this is kind of a mulligan year. They could lose the rest of their games. They're not firing him. So it's a very important – I mean, the offseason starts now. I mean, they've got to start preparing for the offseason now, they're looking for players that could fit their scheme, looking for things that they can improve. State's got to find ways to do that. On the women's side of things, I mean, you had a extremely high. You had last week the Alabama game where I thought State played extremely hard. They just came up short, ran out of gas. Then you go on the road and you just whip Tennessee. I mean, State got up by 20 points in that ball game on the road at Tennessee, and you kept waiting for it to collapse, and it never did. That was one of the better games that they've played, especially defensively. 77-62 go on the road. Just one of the biggest wins of Sam Purcell's career. I think it's the biggest. Top 15 Tennessee team. They were 6-0 in the SEC coming in, leading the SEC, playing as well as anybody. And State just whipped them, 77-62. And then you come back home, and this was the dangerous game. Missouri is a program that is the definition of mediocre. I mean, they have consistently been mid. You know, when their last staff was there, they were the team that would always ruin someone's season, but they never really did anything of substance under Robin Pinkston. And you bring in Kelly Harper, who was okay at Tennessee. She was just like every other coach that's been there since Pat Summitt. They've underperformed expectations. They've been good, but they haven't been great. She's still a good coach. And Missouri has been close in some games, but this is still a team that was below Mississippi State in the standings. They come in here and they shoot for the first 3 quarters 69% from the field. They end up beating Mississippi State 88-80. The ending of that game was just ridiculous for Mississippi State. They go up a 12-0 run in the final 3 minutes. I mean, they were leading this game, I believe, by 5 points. They end up losing 88-80. So just a rough loss here, and it's created frustration with the fan base because you get that win against Tennessee. That got you ahead of schedule. You won 2 games against top 10 teams in the previous week and a half, and then all of a sudden you take a major step back against a team that you're supposed to beat. This was supposed to be a win for Mississippi State, so now you got to make up a win somewhere. And who do you do it against? South Carolina coming up tomorrow night on the road against number 2. Oof. Georgia, a team that they've beaten Ole Miss. They've won some big games this year. This is a much improved team. That's a team on the outskirts of the top 25. That's going to be tough. On the road at Arkansas. Arkansas is not very good, but that's a must-win. Florida is a must-win. At Texas, number 4, that's going to be tough. On the road at A&M, must win, but that's not going to be easy. And then you close against LSU. To me, you have to win at A&M. You have to win at Arkansas and at home against Florida. And that's 3 more wins. You really need another win in there. You really need to beat Georgia. The other 3, they can happen, but this team needs to get to 7. They need to get to 7 SEC wins, 20 wins. A 20-10 record with 7 SEC wins, I think, gets this team in the tournament. Right now, they're a 9 seed, but that's teetering a little bit. That's teetering. You lose another game against a bad opponent, you're probably out. So this is crunch time for Sam Purcell. He's got to finish strong here in the back half, but otherwise, this is the first bad loss of the season for Mississippi State. The other games have been against really good teams. So that's our basketball talk. More basketball coming your way this next week, but we're about to get into baseball season next week. Really excited about that. When we come back, we'll close this thing down. It's Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk here on Super Talk 100.9.
Hey there, I'm Lee Burrell with Citizens Bank in Starkville. If you're thinking about growing your business, whether it's adding equipment, expanding your space, or starting something new, I'd love to help make it happen. At the Citizens Bank, we're in your corner, working with you one-on-one to find lending options that fit you. So stop by and see me at 201 Highway 12 West in Starkville, or give me a call at 662-323-1420, or visit www.thecitizensbankphila.com. I'm Lee Burrell, your hometown commercial lender, here to help your business take the next big step. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Looking to complete those tough jobs and don't have the right equipment? Let H&R AgriPower in Columbus help you out. We now offer Kubota's mini excavators, track loaders, and L-Series tractors available for rent. You can also rent attachments like our cutter heads, grapples, post hole diggers, and more. Give H&R AgriPower a call for daily, weekly, and monthly rental rates. Stop by your hometown dealer today. Visit us at our new location, located at 841 South Frontage Road in Columbus.
Power up your convenience with the 4-County mobile app. Managing your electric account has never been easier. With our free mobile app, you can view your bill, balance, and account details, report outages, track restoration progress, and make secure payments online. Stay informed by scheduling alerts and reminders for important account updates. Whether you're at home or on the go, the 4-County app puts control in your hands. Download the app today and experience the power of convenience.
Hey, this is William Wells. When you drop your vehicle off with us, you can trust us with our ASC certified technician. We'll take care of everything you need. Brakes, struts, shocks, alignments, check engine light, tune-up, tire sensor, tires, everything. Stop by any of our 3 locations in Starkville, West Point, and Columbus, and let our team give you the championship service you deserve.
Looking to get the most out of your land? Trust the experts at Good Hope Land and Timber, your full-service land and timber company with years of experience in forestry and land management. From land and timber purchasing, timber management, plantation thinning, and development harvesting, our team handles it all, safely, efficiently, and sustainably. Our experienced logging force is trained to the highest standards under the Sustainable Forestry Initiative and best management practices. Call me, Jake Moody, at 601-416-6266. Good Hope Land and Timber, locally trusted, landowner approved.
Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk on Super Talk 100.9.
Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk is back here on Super Talk 100.9, the Golden Triangle. Thank you guys for tuning in for one more week. We've had a great run on this show already, and we're ready to keep this thing rolling. Baseball season is around the corner next Friday, the 13th. The Brian O'Connor era begins at Mississippi State. Everybody is pumped. Dudy Noble is already getting its work, its facelift, getting ready for the season. The pressure washing has already happened. They're putting the finishing touches on the stadium as we get ready for another season of baseball, and this one's one of the more anticipated of all time. There's just so much talent and depth on this team. There's a few question marks. I don't have a lot of question marks with the positions as far as if they're going to be good or not. I think there's some questions as to who plays where, and Brian O'Connor talked about that on Monday. It looks like Ace Reese is probably locked in at third base. I feel really good. I feel Aiden Till is probably locked in at center. I feel like Bryce Chance is probably locked in left. The other positions are where you're a little muddy. At least there's some questions in terms of it's not settled yet, but I feel pretty good about a lineup if I had to make one out. The pitching mound is still out there as a, what's it going to be? Is Mississippi State going to be elite on the mound? I don't know. Are they going to be great? Are they going to be good? Is it going to be a problem? I feel like it's going to be at the very least, it's going to be a good unit. Justin Parker just doesn't field bad pitching staffs. Last year's staff took a little bit of a step back, and it's warranted. I mean, you look at what they lost. They lost Cal Steven and Jerangelo Sanger, probably with the best 1-2 punch in the SEC as far as consistency in 2024. Lost those pieces, lost back of the bullpen pieces in Tyson Harden and Tyler Davis. Nate Dome left, although he was injured for most of the season. Those were big pieces missing for Mississippi State. But they still managed to get out there and compete, even with some younger guys like Ryan McPherson, like Charlie Foster. This year's staff has some things to prove, but I really like Tomas Valinkas. I really like Ryan McPherson. I like how they compete. I think Charlie Foster has a high ceiling. What happens with Jack Bauer, the freshman? There's some pieces out there. Tyler Pitzer. Ben Davis is returning as a big piece in the back of the bullpen. Duke Stone taking a step. There's a lot of interesting pieces on this pitching staff. So this is going to be a lot of fun, folks. When we come back next week, I'm going to have a full dive in probably on my projected lineup, on who I think is going to be the starting pitchers, where things stand as far as the pitching staff and what roles are going to be done. We'll have a full weekend preview coming your way next week. Really excited about that as we fully dive into baseball. So we'll have more next week here on Talkin Dawgs. Once again, I want to remind you guys to go check out Jess Brantley, Alpha Insurance over in West Point. Go check out Matheson Hardware in Matheson. Two groups of people that are all about service, and they love the community. Go check them out. They're on different sides here, but we're in West Point with Jess, and we're in Matheson with Matheson Hardware. But it's worth the drive to go see both of them because they will take care of you without a doubt. Also want to remind you guys, listen to us Monday through Friday, Thunder and Lightning, myself and Brian Haydad. Anywhere you get podcasts, you can also watch us every day on YouTube if you're the viewing kind. And also check out Brian later tonight. We bookend it on Wednesday mornings. We have Talkin Dawgs here in the Golden Triangle 100.9, and it's at 6 o'clock, 6:07 to be exact, I believe, Thunder and Lightning Live with Brian Haydad. After Sports Talk Mississippi with Brian and Borky, you can listen to Brian and Thunder and Lightning Live. Pick up a Starkville Daily News when you get the opportunity. Come subscribe to us at Maroon and White Daily. All things Mississippi State coming your way from myself and also Paul Jones over at Maroon and White Daily. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in again. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I hope you enjoy your weekend. This has been Robbie Faulk. This has been Talkin Dawgs, and I will catch you down the road.
You've been listening to Talkin Dawgs with Robbie Faulk.
Mississippi State with a victory here.
Listen each Wednesday at 9 a.m. on SuperTalk 100.9.
Don't you know I'm gonna make it with my friends? I promised myself I'd get by. Said I'm gonna try it with them too hard.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.